I'm Vic Myers. Welcome to the Resistance. I want to give you a couple of notes on the weekend because I had too many doings to do and had to stay home for all of it, I'm embarrassed to say. But the pictures of the weekend that are standing out to me. Obviously, the tragedy that happened in Minnesota and all of the right-wing content creators and podcasters who immediately jump out and say it was a Democrat, of course, when all of the evidence is clear that it was a rabid Trump supporter who did that. But that's not the main picture that sticks with me about that. What sticks with me is the tens of thousands of people in Minnesota who showed up despite the authorities warning that this guy was possibly targeting No Kings protests. So that really sticks out. The other things that are going to stick with me from this weekend, visually, that's how we remember things, right? Is we remember what we saw. And we saw marching in this pathetic parade. And there have been a lot of veterans call it out. As a veteran, I was watching that and I pointed out to Kelly, this isn't marching. These guys are just walking down the street. I saw one guy with sunglasses on and his shirt was open. You could see his white t-shirt. You wear OD green t-shirts under your uniform. I mean, these guys were clearly not in on the mentality that this regime is trying to force on us. And it was beautiful. And the other thing that lots of veterans were pointing out the sloppy marching in their videos, and even on the Midas Touch, they're talking about it. But something that struck me is they were a route step march. For those of you who haven't been in the military, there's marching, like you see on TV, these dang bugs, where they're all in neat rows and columns, and you got somebody calling cadence left, 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 right, left. What these guys were doing in that parade was route step march. And whoever's in control of the formation, your commander, your sergeant, your lieutenant, your captain, whomever is leading the formation, they're the ones who call the march. And it was the people in charge who called route step march and made this parade look as bad as it did. So for those of us who are wondering how the military commanders are going to react if the worst scenarios happen, I think that's a good indication. The No Kings protests throughout the country, first I heard there was at least 5 million people across the country. Then it grew to 8 million people across the country. This morning, from one show, it went from 10 million at the beginning to 12 at the end. So who knows how many? Maybe somebody will do a scientific estimation. But I think it's wonderful. I think the few thousand people who showed up to watch the wannabe dictator versus the at least 10 million maybe people who showed up across the country in every state and every city and every town. I think that's the picture that's going to stick with us and the rest of the world. I want to take a second to say thank you, Doug in Irvine, California, for the $100 donation for the UNF America tour. And thank you to John Michael, I think it was, who pointed out my mistake on the 8th Amendment versus the 9th Amendment. You're absolutely right, and I know better, and it's very frustrating. He knows. And the last picture this weekend that is going to carry me throughout the week is Donald Trump sitting up there in the grandstand with a very sad look on his face. I mean, he loves that word. It was so sad, right? Well, Donald, you look very sad. Good day. Buster doesn't know that he's not a baby.